Hello friends, Toyota has released a mystery teaser which shows another Land Cruiser posing next to a 1960 generation FJ40. No, this is not some kind of special version 300, an absolutely independent model that will be offered for the American market. Let me remind you that the new generation Land Cruiser 300 is not for sale in the USA. So you need to offer something in return. It is this mysterious model that will be a replacement. You might think that this is the new Prado, but Toyota has already confirmed that the new product will be called simply Land Cruiser without any prefixes and get an angular design in the spirit of the new Lexus GX. This can be seen even in this teaser. Large window openings, high landing, and a huge number of angular body elements. The company convinces that they were inspired by just the same FJ40. Well, the new GX also left its mark. Remains an open question. Can this model be considered the successor to the Prado? Most likely yes, just for America this prefix will not be used, but in other markets where 300 is present, it can be used. For the US market, the new Land Cruiser will borrow the power plant from the Lexus GX. We are talking about a petrol V6 twin-turbo with 354 horsepower. Although for a novelty, the motor can be deformed so as not to compete with the product from Lexus. The second power plant turns out to be I-Force Max. This hybrid transmission first debuted on the Toyota Sequoia and is a 3.5-liter V6 working with an electric motor located between the gasoline unit and a 10-speed automatic. In the case of the Sequoia, the hybrid produces 443 horsepower and 790 Nm. But for the Land Cruiser, it can be cut a little while all this information is available on the new product. Toyota promises that the premiere of the new Land Cruiser will take place this year.
Lexus LFA is one of the most ambitious and unusual sports cars of its time. Its 4.8-liter naturally aspirated V10 with a herd of 560 peppy horses and 480 Nm of torque is capable of spinning up to 9,000 RPM, and on paper it all looked simply impressive for its time, but who would have thought that such a project in a commercial aircraft turns out to be a failure? If you believe the company itself, a total of 500 such cars were produced, and at the moment you can still find copies without a run that are transferred to dealers. But the model was on the conveyor back in 2010. It's no wonder why Lexus has been reluctant to build an LFA successor for so long. Let's get back to the copies that are still in storage with official dealers. One of these cars is in Australia, and a very funny story happened to him due to changes in Australian car registration laws. This Lexus LFA had to be registered before July 1, 2023, which means it had to be sold to someone. Otherwise, after July 1, under the new legislation, there would be a risk that this LFA could not be operated at all in this country. Does not reveal all the formal bureaucratic machine to us, but it is not necessary, because the whole point is that no one has bought this LFA so far, and in order not to get into such an unpleasant situation, the owner of the dealership had to buy this car himself to put it for registration by July 1. The value of the transaction turned out to be prohibitive, as much as $600,000. The high price is one of the reasons why Lexus still hasn't been able to sell the two-door weight edition, although the company once convinced that all models were sold a long time ago. Sorry man, but what can you do? Brabus is expanding its portfolio of models and has reached the top-end Porsche 911 Turbo S. The novelty itself will be very hard not to notice, because the studio has done a great job on the exterior coupe.
There is literally everything, starting from the extended wheel arches of the new hood and ending with a massive rear diffuser through which the 4-barrel exhaust system passes, so necessary for a powerful power unit. The studio developed a new stylish spoiler for the novelty and decorated the back with the Brabus inscription. Also for the coupe, aerodynamically efficient wheels were developed with front 21 and rear 22 speeds 21 and rear 22. In general, the coupe became massive and aggressive due to the huge air ducts in the rear fenders, which are so necessary for additional cooling of the Boxer 6-cylinder engine with a volume of 3 whole and 8/10 of a liter. New superchargers were developed for the motor, as well as firmware and a cooling system. The result is more than stunning. 900 horsepower and 1,000 Newton-meters of impulses. With such a potential, the pumped 911 Turbo S will exchange the first 100 in 2.5 seconds, and the maximum speed is 340 km per hour at 100 to 200. The Brabus project takes 4 whole and 7/10 of a second. These are far from the best indicators, and according to these data, Brabus did not want to squeeze all the juice out of the engine. Perhaps this decision was made for the sake of reliability. In total, the company will build 25 of these cars, and all of them will be painted in special colors. The cost of each instance is individual and depends on the personal preferences of customers from the list of options with which he equipped his car. Friends, and that's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so as not to miss new videos. Good luck to everyone and see you.